Hey everybody, this is a class that I'm recording for YouTube as a gift. It's a class primarily to nourish the adrenals and the kidneys, and I'm dedicating this class to my friends in Myanmar at the moment who may well need this class just to support any fear they have sitting in their systems and to bring some stillness and some nourishment into their bodies and their minds. You're going to need one blanket, one strap, and 2 bricks. And if you don't have yoga props, you could use a towel or a scarf instead of a strap, and you could use some books instead of bricks. You may also want an additional towel or blanket. I've got another towel here to lay over my body in Shavasana because it's quite cold here at the moment. And you might also want an eye pillow if you have access to an eye pillow, or just something that you could gently weigh over the eyes in Shavasana to help you create some stillness on that third eye point there, a little bit of pressure on the yin tang point. So grab some props. It is a yin class, so it is a class where we're going to be holding poses for anywhere up to about 5 minutes. So if you are in a place that's cold, whether it's air conditioning or naturally cold, you might also want something to cover yourself on because the body temperature will drop as we go through the class. Great. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to come up against a wall and we're going to take a forward fold just to begin to open the back line of the body. So I want you to take your feet about a foot's distance away from the wall, and then just allow yourself to come back against the wall. Sit bones can just rest gently on the wall, and you can just begin to allow yourself to drape there. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So releasing anything you're holding in the muscles down the spine, the neck, the arms. If you find it challenging just to hang the arms, you can always place the hands directly on the mat and kind of activate the arms a little bit and push down. Or if you're finding this really challenging, another option would be to take your blanket in a little roll, place it on the tops of the thighs, scoop the belly over the thighs, and then just bring the arms to rest on the knees there. So you've got a couple of options. And just make sure, whichever option you're taking, that the feet are hip distance or slightly wider. And then I just want you to become aware as you hold here of the whole back line of your body. So running your awareness from the base of the toes, up the sole of the foot, back of the ankle, back of the calves, hamstrings, around your bottom, all the way down the back line of the body, back of the skull, and just coming to that point where the eyebrows form around the top of the head. And as you observe this back line of your body, see if you can notice any resistance there. Good. Taking a couple more breaths. And then the second part to this pose, you're going to place the hands on the wall. Just gently push the hips away from the wall and just turn yourself towards the wall so that you're bringing the whole of the back of the body onto the wall. And it might be more of your upper back rather than your lower back. You might need to just have a little experiment with how close the feet come to the wall. It's going to take about another minute here. Just starting in this forward fold to open the back line of the body, to become aware of that back line where the kidneys sit, where the adrenal glands sit. Good, couple more breaths. And then again, just bring the hands back towards the floor. If they're not touching the floor already, push yourself away from the wall and then just bring yourself down onto your mat. And just take a moment to notice the effects of that forward fold. Good. Our second pose we're going to work into is Paschimottanasana, caterpillar pose, seated forward fold. So you're going to extend your legs in front of you. Now you can choose here. I quite like to sit myself up on one blanket or towel, so I'm just raising my seat a little bit to encourage my hips to tilt forward a fraction. And then I want you to take the legs and take them slightly wider than your hip distance. So rather than having them close together, take them slightly wider. And then if you can, build a little tower with some props so that you can just gently fold forward and bring your third eye point onto the props. And if you can't fold very far forward, you can grab a chair and place it in front of you or over you and bring the forehead onto a chair there. So a couple of options. I'm going to use my little tower here. Good. One other option you could also take is to take your blanket and roll it into a little sausage. It doesn't have to be that thick. And just place it again in the hip crease, just to put a little bit of pressure on the belly. And we're going to be here for about 4 or 5 minutes. So get yourself set up. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then what I'd like you to do is take your awareness to the iliac crest, which is that point at the top of the back of the hips. And I want you to see if you can consciously relax the muscles there. See if you're holding anything in that lower back hip area and just soften or surrender that tension. allowing the weight of the pelvis to be heavy. With each exhalation, allowing yourself to consciously surrender those hard-working muscles on the back of the hip. And I'd love for you to visualize the adrenal glands, these hard-working glands when we are stressed or fearful of something. They work so hard to produce adrenaline to support us. And they sit just on top of your kidneys. And the kidneys sit on the back side of your body, just at that lower area of your rib cage. So just see if you can sense them, visualize them on the back body there. And then just take some really nice, long, slow, deep breaths into the adrenal glands and the kidneys. You can imagine that each kidney and each adrenal gland is like a little balloon. And that when you inhale, the balloon fills with the breath, becomes plump. You're nourishing it, feeding it with this stillness. Like you're restocking it. Good, take a couple of breaths here. And then on an in-breath, you're just going to plant the hands on the ground and just slowly begin to push yourself all the way back upright. And again, before we shift into another position, just notice the effects of that hold on that back line of your body. From here, we're going to shift straight onto the back, and you're going to take your roll, your blanket or your towel, and if it's not rolled already, roll it in a sausage. And then you're just going to place that on the back of the thoracic spine in that area where the kidneys and the adrenals sit. So we're going to just compress them a little bit. Bend the knees. Just gently roll yourself over the roll. Get yourself into a relatively comfortable position. Have the knees bent and then just take the feet slightly wider than hip distance, and the arms can either cactus or you can place them in a T shape. And then once you've toe heeled the feet slightly wider than your hip distance, just relax the legs. So try and let the legs just be heavy there. So you're not holding in any of the tissues. And again, bring the awareness to the breath. Feel the breath coming through the nose and then visualizing those balloons of your kidneys and your adrenal glands on the back side of your body, just under the lower back area of your ribs. Fill them up with the breath. Sense this gentle compression of the roll in that area. Good. Take another couple of breaths. And then from here, you're going to stay on your back. Just bring the roll away from you. You're going to take your strap. We're going to move into Supta Padahastangusthasana, reclined big toe pose. So I want you to grab the strap, lengthen the left leg on the mat, and then just take the strap around the ball of the foot. And you can wrap the strap, kind of curl it around the hands so that you can just really let go. You don't have to be working the arms at all there. The shoulder blades are sinking into the ground. And then for this position today, I just want you to let the left leg hang out to the side. So it'll probably want to turn out a little bit naturally anyway. Just see if you can allow the left leg just to fall out to the left side. Allow the weight of the strap to sink into the foot. Just come to that kind of resistance point without pushing or pulling. Just so that you're easing into the hamstring there. Take a deep breath here. We're going to switch sides. So just gently hug the left knee in and then take the left foot up into the strap. Switch the feet. Draw the right knee in and then extend it out on the mat. Same thing. I want you to try and avoid any kind of forcing in this pose, but just let the right leg turn out to the side. Let the toes relax. Let the weight of the arms on the strap do the work here as you draw down on the left foot. And then see if you can remain still for at least another minute or so. When we're working with the kidneys and the adrenals, stillness is really the key. They become so overworked through stress. They become fatigued. And the stillness is where they find nourishment. The stillness is where we enable them to heal. Another 30 seconds or so on this side. Good. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just gently draw that left knee into the chest. Move the strap away and just extend that left leg out. So you come to Shavasana for a moment, lying flat on the back. We're going to stay on the back and we're going to move straight into Supta Baddha Konasana, and you're going to need your bricks for this one. So with as little energy expenditure as possible, just grab a hold of your bricks. Bring the soles of your feet together, let the knees fall wide, and then just prop the bricks either on the backs of the thighs there to support you, or you could place them more on the shins, whatever feels most comfortable. But no matter how comfortable you feel in this pose, perhaps you feel really comfortable without props, I want you to use the props. I want you to have that support underneath the backs of the legs there. And then you can choose, maybe you place the hands just on the frontal hip points, or you can lengthen the arms down the side body. And as you hold here, just see if you can begin to drop the pelvis down. So feel the bones of the pelvis heavy into the floor. Taking your awareness back to the breath and just seeing if you can slow it right down. So breathing in through your nose and then breathing out through your nose, long and slow and deep. Breathing in through the nose and then breathing out through the nose, long and slow and deep. Softening the face, softening the jaw, softening the neck, softening the shoulders. And then just moving for another couple of minutes here into stillness. If your awareness has drifted, just bring it back to the body. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And then just taking the hands gently on the backs of the thighs and just help the legs to come back up to center and extend the legs out again for a moment in Shavasana. You can just leave the bricks to one side. And then just slowly roll yourself off to one side and push yourself slowly up to a seat. And our next position, we're going to take a supported heart opener. I want you to place your 2 bricks. Now you've got a couple of options here depending on your body, but you may like to place the bricks on their highest end. I also like to take my blanket and place my blanket on my top brick for a little bit of extra height for my head. And then if Virasana is in your practice and you feel comfortable there, you may like to fold yourself back so that one brick comes just on that lower part of the spine and the head rests on the other. If you feel like you can hold there, then that's a great option. If it's towards the end of your day and you're about to go to sleep, or you feel that this variation through the legs is too much, then take the bricks down to their middle height, place them long ways, end together. Same thing with the blanket there for your head. And then you want to lie yourself down. Spine is going to follow the bricks. And you want to start the bricks just at that point where the kidneys and the adrenals sit on that lower part of your rib cage. So just kind of drape yourself over. It might take you a moment to get there. And then either having the legs bent up there, or you can extend the legs out in Shavasana. Arms resting down the sides of the body. We're going to be here for about 4 or 5 minutes. So get yourself into a position where you can comfortably hold. As you use this practice to commit to rest, maybe asking yourself how you can prevent yourself from going empty. It's so easy when we are fired up, when we are inspired and driven, to push ourselves to extreme places And that can have a chronic effect on our systems, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. So just asking yourself how you can use this practice to allow yourself to keep some energy in reserve. What do you need to do? How do you need to plan your life? What allowances do you need to make? Do you need to carve out more time for rest? How can you commit to rest? Taking a few more deep breaths here. And then just take one arm across the body and gently roll yourself off the props to one side and pause on the side of the body just for a moment. Lovely. And from here we'll push up. And we're just going to set ourselves up for a couple of final positions. So have your blocks somewhere close by. I want you to take your blanket or your towel, place it at the top of your mat, and then I just want you to roll the end up. So you've got a little sausage a couple of inches thick. And then if you've got an eye pillow, you can have that near as well. And if you need something to lay over your body for Shavasana, have that close as well. And you're just going to bring yourself back down, place the roll underneath your neck. So it's a little support there for the neck. And we'll start just twisting through the body. So drop both knees just gently over to the right side for a moment. Good, and then picking the legs back up and dropping them over to the left side. Again, just briefly. Lovely, and then coming all the way back, we're going to set up for a Shavasana, and I want you to take your 2 bricks and I want you just to place the bricks underneath the backs of your knees. So the thighs are slightly raised and the lower back is really soft into the ground there. If you've got something to lay over the body, if you're somewhere cold, then you can lay that over the body as well. And if you had an eye pillow, you can also take that and place that gently over the eyes. And then I want you to grab the sides of the blanket that's underneath the neck and just tuck the blanket up in towards the sides of your head, so you've got a really lovely cradling support for the head and the neck. When we're stressed, when we're working to produce a lot of those fight or flight hormones and adrenaline, we hold a lot of stress and tension in the neck. So just giving it this support is going to encourage it to relax. And then once you're there, take the right hand, fold the middle finger and the index finger in towards your palm, and bring the hand up towards your nose. And then from here, you're going to take the thumb to the right nostril, and you're just going to inhale and exhale through your left nostril, really gently. Long, slow and deep inhales and exhales through your left nostril. This is the Chandra Veda, which is a very calming pranayam, breath technique. Allowing your nervous system to settle, helping you to move back into stillness, helping you to encourage the body to rest. Just take another couple of rounds here of this Chandra Veda. Inhaling and exhaling through your left nostril. And then the next time that you exhale through your left nostril, just let the right hand rest back down the side of the body and settle into the stillness of your Shavasana. Cultivating that stillness for yourself as you pause. Remember that stillness is really the key way to nourish the kidneys and the adrenals. Assisting you from moving out of that state of fear. The Radiant Sutras say, enter these turning points where the rhythms of life transform into each other. Breath flows in, filling, filling. In this moment, drink eternity. Breath flows out, emptying, emptying, offering itself to infinity. Cherishing these moments, mind dissolves into heart, heart dissolves into space, body becomes a vibrating field pulsating between fullness and emptiness. Expending as little energy as you can, just gently, gently roll yourself over to one side. Maintaining that sense of stillness in your body. Pushing yourself up to a seat, and we'll close the practice together. As you reach your seat, just become again aware of that back line of your body. Sense the kidneys sitting just under that lower back side of the rib cage. Sense the adrenal glands sitting on top. Take a deep breath into those places, filling them up like little balloons. Filling up your energy reserves, nourishing them. And make a commitment to yourself as you move off the mat, off from this practice. How can you balance your willpower, not being too cautious or too reckless with your energy? How can you commit to rest so that you never go empty? So much love to you wherever you are in the world.